This is Eyewitness News at 10.
Chaos in downtown Salt Lake City as gunfire erupts inside the LDS Church's genealogical library.
They crawled and then they dragged a man, and it was one of our missionaries, and he'd been shot in the chest, and it didn't look good.
A deranged man with a gun killed 2 people and wounded 5 more before he was shot and killed. The downtown business district was paralyzed for hours. Good evening, I'm Dick Nourse.
And I'm Ruth. Todd. We have team coverage of today's frightening events that sent terror through a large section of downtown Salt Lake City. We begin where it all began, the LDS Family History Library on West Temple. Bruce Lindsay is out there live tonight and joins us now. Bruce.
Ruth, the world's largest genealogical library here was filled this morning with amateur and professional researchers when an elderly man with a history of mental illness walked in and began shooting at people with a handgun.
I was up on the second floor. I just moved up there when all of a sudden, bang, 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 all these shots.
Before it was over, the gunman had killed a church security officer and a library patron and wounded 5 others. The library was even busier than usual on this day with a genealogical conference in town. When police arrived, they found the man barricaded in an office. They exchanged fire.
We have identified the gunman that is dead.
Not knowing whether the gunman was acting alone or what his motives might be, police shut down city streets and ordered evacuations. Nearly 200 school children visiting the museum next door were shepherded to the safety of Abravanel Hall.
We're just really grateful they're all okay and in one piece.
Police kept traffic away from downtown for 6 hours and emptied additional city blocks when they feared this suspicious truck might be connected with the shooting and might be carrying explosives.
They just want to make sure that there's nothing in it and that they can render it safe.
Although that truck occupied a bomb squad for hours, it turned out to be harmless and unrelated to the already enormous catastrophe here. Ruth?
All right, and we'll have more on that truck a little bit later. Bruce Lindsay reporting live. Thanks so much, Dick.
For thousands of people downtown and the hundreds who were evacuated, this was a day of fear and chaos. News specialist John Daley was on the scene all day and joins us live again tonight. John, what was it like for those in the center of it all?
Dick, hundreds of people turned out to the genealogy library today to explore the lives of their ancestors. Instead, they found themselves scrambling for their own lives.
Come on, dude. You okay?
Yeah.
I could see underneath between the legs of the table, I could see the gentleman moving around out there in the foyer shooting at people. See a man lying on the ground.
Well, we heard this popping, and there's a chandelier, over the staircase there. And I thought, well, maybe they dropped a light bulb, and then it just kept popping, and then somebody said, somebody's got a gun.
They crawled and then they dragged a man, and it was one of our missionaries, and he'd been shot in the chest, and it didn't look good.
Dozens of kids from Vista Elementary escaped the field trip of their lives, make it back to school and into safe, familiar, loving arms.
We're just really grateful they're all okay and in one piece.
Same emotion at Abravanel Hall, where evacuees get information from police, nourishment from the LDS Church, and comfort from friends and relatives. Stephanie Bell leaves school midday to find her mom, who works at the library.
I just hugged her and started bawling. But I'm just glad she's okay.
For survivors, the emotional impact is overwhelming.
I don't know what else you can call it. It's just scary.
Well, angry. I'm about as angry as I can be for a lot of reasons. I don't know how he got in. I'm angry at the fact that he got in. I'm angry at him personally.
It's awful. You sort of have a sense of security, and then this shatters it. And I've been shot at before. I'm a refugee from another country, and it's still when it comes home to you like this, not very nice.
One man that I spoke with had come down to see what had happened because he had heard about the shooting. He was trying to find his wife because she had been inside the building. He searched and searched and couldn't find her. I don't know if he ever found her. And of course, that's one of the things that we can all relate to, the terror of that kind of situation, not knowing for sure if one of your loved ones was one of the people who had been hurt. Reporting live, I'm John Daley. Back to you.
All right, John, thanks.
As mentioned, 3 people are dead tonight, including the gunman. 3 others are in local hospitals. Police say 6 people were hit during the violent shooting spree at the Family History Library. A library security officer, Donald Thomas, age 62, was shot several times in the chest. He died at LDS Hospital a short time later. Patricia Irene Frangs, 55-year-old from Pleasant Hill, California, was pronounced dead at the scene. The third victim was the gunman himself, 70-year-old Sergei Barbarin, who was shot by police. Tonight, 3 other victims are being treated for severe gunshot wounds. 45-year-old Chris Webb from Laketown, Utah, was shot in the shoulder. She's listed in fair condition. Her 71-year-old mother, Theda Weston, was shot in the head. She is in serious condition. And her third victim, Nellie Layton, an 80-year-old missionary from Oakland, California, was shot in the face. She is also in fair condition. And we're learning more tonight about the man who did all of this. Police say he was mentally ill and had stopped taking his medicine.
News specialist Pamela Davis spoke with the son of the gunman tonight and joins us now with more on that story.
Well, Dick, according to the Sun, the shooter was a tool maker who moved to the States from Russia in 1981. The Sun says his father had been in a doctor's care for schizophrenia for about 2 years. The Sun also says he begged the doctor to commit his father to some kind of mental hospital, but that never happened. He shot at least 6 people at the Family History Library, but family members say the shooter was a victim himself, a victim of mental illness.
He is apparently schizophrenic and has not been taking his medication lately.
Sergei Barbarin's son tells Eyewitness News his father was a paranoid schizophrenic who carried a gun to defend himself, he said, in case something happened. People who live near him in this apartment building say they noticed Barbarin was a little strange.
He never said or did anything, you know, but I'm a little bit leery of him.
Adelaide Fern Payne says she suspected Barbarin had problems. Police say he was arrested at least once before.
He was arrested in 1995 at the ZCMI store. It was in relationship to some fight. At that time, he did have a weapon. It was a .22 semi-automatic pistol. We're trying to confirm if we took that pistol from him and if it was released at a later time.
Well, I didn't know he had a gun, yes. And he, of all people, he shouldn't have had one. And I feel very sorry for the people that lost their lives because of this.
The shooter's son says he feels the mental health system failed his father and is at least partly responsible for today's tragedy. He says his father was not a violent man by nature, but that his illness made him that way. Back to you.
Pamela, any idea why the Family History Library was hit? Was the church possibly a target here?
I asked the son that. He said his father was not LDS and had no reason to target the LDS church. He apparently fancied himself some kind of inventor and liked to go around telling people about his ideas. He'd apparently written to the president. This was apparently one more place he was trying to sell his ideas.
News specialist Pamela Davis reporting live. Thanks so much.
The terror in downtown Salt Lake City was punctuated by fear of a bomb going off later. Nearby offices, hotels, and stores in and around Temple Square were evacuated, and those of us here at the Triad Center were also forced to leave. Police feared a truck parked just across the street might contain a major explosive device. And for most of the ordeal, in fact, police thought that truck was linked to the shooter. 15 blocks were closed down after KSL employees ran into a man who seemed suspicious and threatening. Witnesses tied the yellow truck to that man, and authorities obtained information the truck was loaded with fuel. They arrested D.K. Coben of Delta Junction, Alaska, early in the afternoon.
A man approached them and started talking to him about his Ryder truck that was unidentified, and it was in front of the Triad Center, and it was full of gasoline.
Several hours later, officers blew a hole in the side of the truck and looked inside. As it turned out, Coben was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not connected with the shooting. He committed no crime and was released.
The LDS Church First Presidency issued a statement expressing its concern over this terrible tragedy. We extend our love and blessings to all who have suffered by reason of these sad and disturbing events, they said. As police officers escorted genealogy workers and visitors back into the library to collect their belongings this evening, more condolences were expressed for those who were killed.
We want to express our deepest sympathy to their families. It's such a tragic thing to lose someone at any time, but in an unexpected way like this, and in a way that seems so senseless, you know, such senseless violence. And we just want them to know our prayers are with them and our deepest sympathy.
The Family History Library will be closed through the weekend and reopen once again Monday. If you'd like even more on today's shooting, you can visit our webpage. The address there on your screen, KSL.com.
There is other news to report tonight, including a painful admission from the Pentagon. It was a NATO bombing raid which killed dozens of Kosovar refugees. That story's still ahead.
And maybe we really aren't alone. Stunning new evidence the galaxy may be teeming with other planets.
And with dry, breezy conditions the past few days, what's coming out of those trees? How's the pollen situation? We'll check it and the 5-day forecast next on Eyewitness News.
I've been a Big O customer for years, for a lot of reasons. Great prices, fast, professional service, and they treat me honestly with the respect I deserve.
Hi, what can I do for you today?
Big O Tires, 38 Utah locations at your service.
It's the Jeep Spring event, and great deals on your favorite Jeep vehicles are showing up wherever you look. Like a low $359 a month lease rate on the rugged Go Anywhere Grand Cherokee Laredo. Now with more power, more safety, more capability, and more luxury than ever before. The landscape will never be the same during the Jeep Spring event, the event that's getting everyone to sit up and take notice. See your Utah Jeep dealer.
Everybody knows Big O Tires has a great selection of tires and wheels at guaranteed low prices. But did you know that Big O also does brakes, alignments, front-end work, all performed by certified personnel? Big O Tires, more than just a tire store.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rhodes' new Fresh Ideas with Frozen Dough Recipe Book. For more information, call the Rhodes toll-free bake line.
Okay, here's a look at some of the pollen counts. Oak is 27, high, and probably high enough to be troublesome to those who are susceptible to it, but the rest of them in the moderate or low ranges, and frankly, we're in pretty good shape right now, although it's certainly not over. But with a few dry, breezy days, I thought that would kick things up, and frankly, it hasn't yet happened. 51, the official high at the airport today. That was 10 degrees below normal. 31, the overnight low, and that was 7 below the seasonal average of 38. Records are 85 and 25. The sun will rise in the morning at 10 before 7, sets at 8:06. Highs and lows around the state as you see them there. Elko was frosty this morning at 17 with a 59 in the afternoon. There's Moab at 67. Logan was almost as warm as the Wasatch Front with a 51 in the sunshine today. Holiday 54. Salt Lake Airport 51. Still just a little cooler than everyone else out there on the edge of the lake with a bit of a breeze coming off the water. Okay, St. George, the hot spot at 75 today, and the rest of the temperatures as you see them there. Smithfield was 19 this morning. It's 41 as of 10 o'clock. The winds are calm. The pressure is steady at 30.34, and the relative humidity at 33%. Here's your satellite sequence for the western U.S. now. Note that we've had a little shower activity in the Midwest. So far, no severe weather to speak of, and a new batch of cloudiness is pushing in toward the west coast, but that will tear apart, dissipate, really won't affect us much because it's colliding with a big, broad, high-pressure ridge that's firmly in place over the entire Great Basin, and that's the way things will stay for the next few days. So, as a result, we get clear skies tonight, all the stars out, fairly cool in many spots, such as the Uinta Basin, the Cache Valley. Richfield will be 20, St. George 42, and then up to the mid to upper 70s tomorrow with blue sky and sunshine, and we'll probably start to see a little haze build up along the Wasatch Front because of the lack of circulation. With the high pressure, things are pretty stable. So, very sunny, but fairly hazy. Salt Lake up to 58 for a high tomorrow, compared to today's 51, 52. Satellite sequence now that shows our ridge, and there's a new low-pressure trough developing out here, but it's moving fairly slowly, and so it'll push in toward the coast, but it'll probably be at least Tuesday afternoon and evening, probably Wednesday, until this thing moves in far enough to begin to affect us with colder air sinking down into the trough and enough moisture for some clouds, maybe some showers. We'll track that through the weekend. Here's your 5-day forecast. St. George goes from 76 tomorrow to 85 on Monday. Overnight lows ranging from 42 to 46. Lots and lots of sunshine, maybe an extra cloud or two Tuesday afternoon, and that's it. Okay, here's the Wasatch Front 5-day. A little warmer tomorrow, 58 the forecast high, 32 the overnight low, then up to the upper 60s, maybe low 70s. All the way through the weekend, Blue sky and sunshine, a very, very light breeze, if any wind at all. We start to pick up a few extra clouds on Monday afternoon, then increasing cloudiness on Tuesday, especially late in the day. Yeah, possibility of a little storminess midweek. We'll take another look tomorrow.
Pretty nice 5-day. We'll take it there.
Some more information now on today's shooting at the Family History Library here in downtown Salt Lake City.
That library is an extremely busy place. It is one of the most popular destinations for visitors from throughout the world, with nearly 1 million people every year coming to the facility to search out their roots.
This report, put together a few years ago by news specialist Dwayne Cardall, gives us a better idea of just what takes place in this library.
I just love finding them because I learn about me when I find out about them.
They come from all over the world to search for their roots. Here they pore over data in books, on microfilm, and on computer in a quest for familial information.
We've been here all this week.
Since Sunday. Okay. And we're going back Wednesday.
I'm finding a lot of things here. It's an excellent place, but I just haven't found the right one.
I have found my second great-grandmother, which was the most exciting thing I've had.
3,000 visitors a day use the library. That's nearly 1 million people a year. 40% of them are not LDS.
I've heard about it, read about it, and I know they have the best records in the world here, so I figured this would be a good place to try to find something out.
The Salt Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau is now booking group tours to Salt Lake, focusing on the library. They say library visitors stay longer than most, and that, they say, benefits the local economy.
It'll take perhaps 6 weeks or more to put the information we've already gotten into the computer, where you can massage it and look at it and see where the other gaps are. So we'll be back out here in about 6 months and try it again.
And to underscore the popularity of genealogical research, this week's issue of Time magazine has a 13-page cover story which features the Family History Library.
As we speak, Jazz and the Clippers underway in California.
I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Things are good.
That's a good
You like
sign,
that?
yeah.
That's right. Payback time for